Who are the people that changed your life?
I mean, a lot of people changed my life. I mean, I had teachers in high school who really molded me, and you know.
Who? Name one.
I mean, there was an English teacher named Mr. Lipsitz who was just like a very rigorous teacher. Alan Lipsitz was his name, and I had a math teacher named Quinn.
High school. These are high school teachers.
Yeah, high school teachers. He was just like an amazing, rigorous, hilarious teacher. And then, like the person who honestly like set my path more than anybody else was this guy named Keith Talbot, who was a guy who was at NPR in its early days, and he I came in like one summer, like just working in the promo department as an intern, and he spotted me and hired me as his assistant. And he was on staff at NPR to invent new ways to do radio documentary. And half of everything I know about doing radio, I learned directly from him. And just the way that he thought about how information proceeds over the radio and how to think about it. And he had a really lush production style and just he's just really a nervy.
What's a lush production style?
Lush production style. He like much more than the show I do now. Every hour that he would produce would be completely different than every other hour. Like it would sound totally different. The soundscape of it would be different. There'd be all different music. Like he'd have music composed for each hour, and the music would be totally different. And you know, he did a show about the ocean, and rather than have like a narrator at the center of it, like our show, like you got a narrator at the center. It's me. Like the audience knows me. I'm the narrator.
Right.
And so it's very, very traditional broadcasting kind of structure. But in his shows, like often the characters who are in the stories are narrating the stories. For this thing about the ocean, I remember the narration was two guys. They never explain who they are. They're just sitting on a pier overlooking the bay somewhere. I don't even remember where. I don't even know if they say where. And one of them is telling the other about this imaginary character who he made up when he was a kid. And the imaginary character loved the ocean. And that guy would tell like a little anecdote about this imaginary character, and that would be the springboard to each of the segments you go to over the course of the hour, which are documentary, which are totally real and really, really super vivid. One is with these people who go down in these bathoscopes down, or I don't know if I'm even saying the word of that right, they're like down far underneath the ocean. And another one is a guy who has no income but just lives on a beach off stuff that washes up and stuff that he fishes. Like now, like he's living like somebody in the 3rd century. Right. And another one is, you just go from person to person to person, and what connects it are these two guys sitting on a pier. That is a much more radical structure than anything I ever do now. And so I became his assistant. After he left NPR, he went on to create he went on to Disney to create the Mouseketeers show again as a television show, where he's the person who ran the show that discovered Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera. Oh. So Justin and Britney and Christina and I are all his media proteges. Those are my cousins. Those are my sisters.
I can see you with that group. Yeah.
So
I can see you with that group.